Dida, the head is back. I wonder if she's getting any warning, any information. Hirpa knows that the line is coming, but she knows she can catch her.
ይህ የምትመለከቱት ትንቅንቅ 42 ኪሎ ሜትሮች በላይ ከተሮጠ በኋላ የመጨረሻዎቹን ጥቂት 100 ሜትሮች አሸናፊ ሆኖ ለማጠናቀቅ በሁለት ኢትዮጵያውያን ሴት አትሌቶች መካከል በበዳቱ ሂርጳና በታምራት ቶላ ባለቤት ደራ ዲዳ መካከል ያለ ትንቅንቅ ነው። ይህ ትንቅንቅ $80,000 አሸናፊ ሆኖ ለማጠናቀቅ የሚደረግ ትግል ነው። ምክንያቱም የመጀመሪያው መስመር ያቋረጠው አንደኛ ሆኖ የጨረሰው አትሌት የውድድሩ ሽልማት $80,000 የሚያፍስበት ስለሆነ ቀላል ትንቅንቅ አይደለም። በዚህ ሰዓት ሁለቱ አትሌቶች እግራቸው ከድቷቸዋል፣ ጉልበታቸውን ጨርሰዋል። በሰውነታቸው ውስጥ ያለ እንጥፍጣፊ ጉልበት አልቀራቸውም። ነገር ግን የመጨረሻው ሜትር አሸናፊ ሆኖ ለማጠናቀቅ የሚያደርጉት ትግል ልብ ያንጠለጥላል። በዱባይ ኢትዮጵያውያን በብዛት በአሸናፊነት የሚታወቁበት የማራቶን ውድድር ኢትዮጵያውያኑን ከአንደኛ እስከ 10ኛ ያለውን ደረጃ ይዘው እንዲያጠናቅቁ አድርገዋቸዋል። ያውም ደግሞ በወንዶችም በሴቶችም ሁለቱንም ውድድሮች አሸናፊ ሆነው መጨረስ ችለዋል። በዓለማችን ከሚገኙ ታላላቅ የማራቶን ውድድሮች መካከል አንደኛው የሆነውን የዱባይ ማራቶን ውድድርን ይዘንላችሁ መጥተናል። ውድድሩ አዲስ አበባ ነው ወይስ ደግሞ ዱባይ ነው ያስባለውን ይህንን ክስተት እንድታዩትና እንድትዝናኑበት ጋበዝን። ላይክ፣ ሼር፣ ኮሜንት በማድረግ ተሳተፉ። ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰባችን መሆኑን እንዳትዘነጉት። ጅማሮውን በፈረንጆቹ 1998 ከ27 ዓመታት በፊት ያደረገው የዱባይ ማራቶን በዓለም አትሌቲክስ የወርቅ ደረጃ የተሰጠው ውድድር ነው። እጅግ ከፍተኛ የሚባል የሽልማት ገንዘብንም ለአትሌቶች በመስጠት ይታወቃል። ኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች ደግሞ በተደጋጋሚ አሸናፊ ሆነው ሲያጠናቅቁበት ይታያል። የዚህን ውድድር የቦታውን ክብረ ወሰን በወንዶች ጌታነህ ሞላ 2019 ላይ ጨብጦታል። 2 ሰዓት ከ03 ከ34 በመግባት በሴቶቹ ደግሞ ትግስት ከተማ 2024 ላይ የገባችበት 2 ሰዓት ከ16 ከ07 የቦታው ክብረ ወሰን ሆኖ ተመዝግቧል። በውድድሩ ያለፉት 27 ዓመታት ታሪክ ከተመዘገቡ 54 የወርቅ ሜዳሊያዎች መካከል 33ቱ ለኢትዮጵያውያን አትሌቶች የተበረከቱ ናቸው። 16 ወንዶችና 17 ሴት አትሌቶች ይህንን ውድድር በአንደኛነት አጠናቀው ኢትዮጵያ በዚህ መድረክ ከፍ ብላ እንድትታወቅ አስችለዋል። ከዚህ ቀደም በርከት የሚሉ ኢትዮጵያውያን ታላላቅ አትሌቶች በተደጋጋሚ ሲያሸንፉበት ይታወቃል። ኃይሌ ገብረስላሴ በዚህ ውድድር 2008፣ 2009 እና 2010 በተከታታይ 3 ዓመት በማሸነፍ ሪከርድ በመስራት በወንዶቹ ይታወቃል። በሴቶቹ ደግሞ አሰለፈች መርጊያ 3 ጊዜ በድል አጠናቃለች። 2011፣ 12 እና 15 ላይ ትርፊ ጸጋዬ 2 ጊዜ፣ ወርቅነሽ ገፋ ደግሞ 2 ጊዜ ይህንን ውድድር በበላይነት ማጠናቀቅ ችለዋል። ይህ የዱባይ ማራቶን በኢትዮጵያውያን ተከታታዮች እጅግ ይወደዳል። በዩናይትድ አረብ ኤሚሬት በርከት ያሉ ኢትዮጵያውያኖች በስራ ይኖራሉ። እናም ይህንን ውድድር ለመከታተል በቦታው ጥቅጥቅ ብለው ይታደማሉ። ባንዲራቸውን በመያዝ የሀገር ባህል ልብሳቸውን በመልበስ ኢትዮጵያውያኑን አትሌቶች በማበረታታት ይታወቃሉ። የተወደዳችሁ ተከታታዮች ለዛሬ ኢትዮጵያውያን ታላላቅ ታሪኮች የሰሩበትን $80,000 ለአሸናፊው፣ $40,000 ለሁለተኛው የሚሸለምበትን የዱባይ ማራቶን ውድድርን ይዘን መተናል። ይህ መድረክ በወንዶችም በሴቶችም በ2025 10ሩም አትሌቶች ከአንደኛ እስከ 10ኛ በሁለቱም ጾታ በኢትዮጵያውያን የተያዘ ነበረ። ላይክ፣ ሼር፣ ኮሜንት በማድረግ ተሳተፉ። ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰባችን መሆኑን እንዳትዘነጉት። ሰላም።
Tigist Girma is there in the green in between these two male pacemakers, Bahailu and Bultume. And of course it helped that they're Ethiopian as well, because if needs be she can give them a little shout in Amharic in their common language and say, pick it up fellas, or can you push it along, or even can you slow down a little bit please.
I think more than that, I think they're used to training with the men that are pacing for them, so they're used to settling in behind and focusing on the back or the heels of the athlete in front. You can see certainly Bahailu is doing a good job of looking across, talking, checking, making sure that he's doing exactly what's required in his job here. Dera Dida is still in there.
Bultume doing a good job. Now, of course, one advantage the women have when they have male pacemakers in what is, of course, a mixed race, is that those male pacemakers can take them the whole way, can take the leader all the way to the finish line. That's never the case in a men's race for obvious reasons. A pacemaker, some races allow pacemakers to finish the race, but I can't remember the last time a pacemaker won a race in the last 25 years, although they have sometimes competed for the win. But pacemakers in some races are allowed to finish the race, and they will do the pacemaking job up to 25k, 30k if they have a great day, and then continue. Very tough, and it's
because that is the 15k drink station. 49.36 is the split that has come up, so they are also starting to pick up. They've set out quickly, it's backed off a little bit, and that is now dropped again below 220 pace for the predicted time. You still can see that chase group in the background as well, not too far behind, maybe 100 meters if that. The lens does foreshorten that gap a little bit, but some strong running and some strong racing yet to come, certainly on this women's side. This time they've all got their bottles safely.
They have. Did you used to practice that, Paul, as we see that 15k split being confirmed at 49.36? Did you used to practice grabbing your drinks on training runs, and possibly more importantly, getting used to drinking on training runs and having liquid sloshing around in your stomach?
Absolutely, you've hit the nail on the head there. It's not only picking up the bottle, because for elite athletes the bottle is much easier. For many of the mass runners out there, picking up a cup is one of the hardest things, and huge amount of admiration for people that manage to do that and still get all of the liquid inside them. To pick up the bottle is not so hard, but to drink at pace, as these women are doing here, is more difficult, and it is something that you have to practice because you need to get that fuel into you. So you have to practice being able to run at speed, so that means practicing not so much on your long runs but on your tempo runs, when you're really hitting that marathon pace and getting the drink into you, and trying to master the technique of running with it for a little bit as well, just to make sure that you're getting as much of that fuel into your body, certainly in these earlier stages, but more the race goes on, that becomes important as well. It's not so much for hydration, it really is for that energy and that fuel into your body.
Well, I have to say that Kiptu here doing a fantastic job, as they've got over 51 minutes on the clock now. Saila Kiptu looking like every bit an experienced pacemaker, almost single file. I think he has picked it up maybe a little bit. I don't know if they're getting information from the sidelines. There are one or two of the attendees of the elite athletes on the lead motorbikes close to them who could be shouting instructions at them, maybe screaming, pick it up a bit, that last 5k too slow, or maybe slow down a little bit, but they really are motoring now. I think I just sense that stride length has lengthened a little bit. There's a pickup in the cadence, actually, how quickly the legs are turning over.
Yeah, but you can definitely see that. I'm just trying to see if the second pacemaker is still in there, but certainly on the front of that lead bike, we talked about writing the splits down your arm. Michel, who sat on the back of that lead bike, does have the splits all over him, doesn't he? He's written all over. So that is his job, to make sure that he gets that information to the pacemakers, and that they do keep that pace going as requested and as is wanted by the men who've spent a lot of time behind training for this race. That camera just swung around a little bit. We could see how far they are behind from that lead group. That is the second chase group. That lead group is the 6 women who were away that we saw, led by Welder. Kiptu is still doing a strong job here as a pacemaker. He's gone through halfway. We've lost the other pacemaker. He's doing a very good job and keeping that pace going.
And Berega here, likewise doing a fabulous job. Ahmed tucked in behind. Bayene is there as well. They make that turn at what, about 19.5 kilometers. That's that northernmost point of the circuit, and they'll be back here in 14 kilometers time. So basically they're on like a very long, elongated running track here with 7 kilometers on each side, and they do a U-turn at each end.
So it is the 1k splits that we're getting are just an indicator. The 5k splits are the ones that will be so much more accurate, so that should be coming up soon for the lead women. This again is that chase group of women approaching the 20k mark. For the lead women, they did go through that in 65.40. So now working towards the lead group ahead of this group. This is the chase group, and the lead group through 65.40. That would give them what, around about 68, 69 minutes. So a little bit of a picking up of that, approaching the halfway mark.
Yeah, 65.40. Just checking on the old trusty chart. 65.40 would bring them home in 2:18.32. So they have wound up. Funny, isn't it? Both races have sort of picked it up around 15k to 20k. Whether that's because I'm not sure why that would be. Perhaps there's just been more information getting through to the pacemakers, and they picked it up a little bit. But both races seem to have accelerated around the 15k mark, and are now heading down toward very, very quick times here in Dubai on this rather lovely Sunday morning. The tables here. Do you know what? When they was explained at the technical meeting yesterday that these drinks tables would be spread out over 120 meters, I thought, what a good idea. There's less chance of getting it wrong. You know, so many marathons, you see too many bottles on a table, and then another 5 meters along, another table with 6 or 8 bottles on it, and you think, no wonder people knock the bottles off, or they don't get them, or people fall over, and you get chaos. It's a brilliant way of thinking here, and it's the first time I've seen it at any marathon. I don't think it's been the same in the past here in Dubai. Pete Connaughton will have to forgive me if it has been, but spreading those drink tables out for the elite athletes, always on the left, over a long, long stretch, over 100 meters, is the way to do it.
It is, because it's one of the biggest jeopardies in marathon racing, isn't it? Particularly in championship racing, is trying to get to your table, get your bottle, the amount of mishaps that we've had happen there. So making that a little bit easier for the athletes. I mean, there are some races that actually send people out on bikes to hand them at the right zones and times, but certainly spreading it out like that is a really safe way to do it.
Well, Hirpa, Bedatu Hirpa, one of my favourites here, is tucked in there behind Bayene, the Welde rather, the debutante. Hirpa to the centre of picture there in the purple, just gone out of shot to the right of picture. Winner of Prague back in May last year in 2:23. She won in Riyadh in Saudi in 2:27, then she won in Prague 3 months later in 2:23, and then she was 5th in Amsterdam in a personal best of 2:21. She had an incredible 2024.
It was really, really strong, and she's slotted in behind Tigist Girma in the green ahead of her, and then Dera Dida, champion a couple of years ago and 3rd place last year, and then Yima is further back. She was 4th and 5th at the World Half Marathon in 2020 and 2018 respectively. Does have that 2:19.07 personal best and a 65.46 personal best from RAC a few years ago over the half marathon distance as well.
69.12 at the half for the leading women. It's been set up beautifully here by the pacemakers, doing a wonderful job. My only reservation about Hirpa, who you can see on that list, is up in the top 5 or 6 places, and I've scribbled it in my notes, Paula. This is her 4th marathon in less than 11 months, and that means she could be running on tired legs. Now, quite often, and you know this, that results in you looking great for 2/3 of the race, and then that fatigue begins when you have to start digging deep and go to the well again. You look down into the well, and the water's a long, long way down, and the well's more or less empty.
It gets tougher, doesn't it? The only thing I will say is that she has run second, when she's run them close together, she has run the latter one at a slightly slower pace. So she did in Riyadh, she ran 2:27, didn't she? Which for her is almost like a long run in training, put into a race situation. So she might be able to come back from that okay, but yeah.
Well, she got faster with each of her marathons last year. She won Riyadh in February in 2:27. Each other. Time trials are wonderful to see. World records, super fast times, but nothing beats head-to-head competition.
And even bike swerving in front of you as well, although I think that was deceptive on our shot. But you can really see in that shot the skyline far behind, but just really get an idea of the pace that they're running at. And it is deceptive when you're watching it on a screen, isn't it? If you see somebody out there along the course, might try and run with them for a little bit, and it is an extremely fast tempo that they are racing at now, and we're really approaching that territory where if you have made any slight error in terms of the pace that you've run at, you will start to pay for it from here on in. That is Yishma in the women's group. This is a chase group of women. We do have that lead group of 5, remember, away, that includes Tigist Girma, Zeneba, Yima, Dera Dida,
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
227 athlete. Not quite sure what tempo she's on at the moment.
It's down to 2 now, isn't it?
It is down to 2
group. That was Hirpa. And I think was it Dera Dida with her?
Look at the size of this men's pack though. Kiptu's still a pacemaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 athletes in this lead men's pack behind the pacemaker Kiptu, with one athlete just beginning to drift away in the background there. Girma looking strong. Dera Girma. He's just 19 years old in that blue vest. Best of 2:08. That was with a win in Taiwan back in September. Back on the 22nd of September, just gone. Here we are. Hirpa and Dida. You're right, Paula. Down to 2. And shifting too, and I sense that Hirpa here is chomping at the bit and trying to break Dida, but Dida is most experienced of the two.
Well, it's interesting because the pair of them are the two who didn't do anything during the first half. They sat back and allowed the other women to kind of jostle for position ahead of them and conserved energy there, and then past halfway when the pacemaker pushed on a little bit, it was those two women that were able to go with that. And now if we look back down, I think that's Yima, is it, who's next? It's hard to read from that distance, I'm just trying to gauge. It's either Yima or Girma, because you can see it's a green vest further back down the road, but they've not been able to go with the lead to Bedatu, Hirpa and Dera Dida. Dera Dida we know has the pedigree to perform and knows this course very well as well. She's had the opportunity to win on this course, to finish third last year, and to learn the layout and to know that it's over this final loop that you really need to make your serious running.
Well, Dera Dida, third here last year. It's a 9th marathon. She's the athlete married to the Olympic marathon champion, Tamarat Tola, winner in the Paris Olympic Games in that astonishing 42k contest in the French capital, where they ran out to the Palace of Versailles on a monstrous hill. Couldn't be more different to this race today. And yet the times were still pretty quick in Paris. Did they run 2:06, the winning time, I think?
They
the men?
Olympic records, I think, in both races, men and women's races, and some great racing to the end as well. So times extremely fast, given just how steep that hill was. Yes, they came down it as well, but it's also, that's quite hard on your legs to run quickly down a hill. And certainly a race like today, which is more flat, as you can see from those splits, those 5k splits on your screen, the men's race has settled now from that a little bit rash, faster 5k split, and it's settled back down to around about 14:40 pace.
Well, they went through 30k in 1:28.29. So again, a split way below 15 minutes, just trying to work it out. I think it's 14:39. So the last 2 5-kilometer splits, and metronomic running, 14:38 and 14:39, and it is quick, and they're still in there, and another athlete just beginning to peel off the back, Paula. This tempo is picked up, and I think we are going to see negative splits after that 62.23 halfway mark. It's taking its toll now as they head towards the last 10k.
You can see there's a definite whittling down of that pack. Every time we come back to it, somebody else has paid the price, if you like, and not been able to stay with it, and is just dropping off the back of that group. And there now are, what, 6-7 men in there?
I think 6, if we count that one as dropping away just behind the group, 10 or 20 meters behind the group, as having gone. And Kiptu, the pacemaker's gone as well. He's done a fantastic job to 30k to set this up.
And that's always when we see the real racing start as well, when the pacemaker steps aside and then there's a little bit of a looking around in that group at who is going to take on the pace. Is there somebody who's keen to get to the front and push on and maintain the tempo, or will there be a little bit of a slowing while they all look around at each other and try and determine somebody to go to the front and push on? There's Dera Dida settled in second. He's not now behind the pacemaker, he is behind the athlete who has taken it on, if you like, and is keen to keep pushing it on. And is that Desalgan?
I'm not sure, but there's an attack going on in the men's race. There's no doubt about that. We've gone back to this women's race, but it's the men's race. There's a vital attack going on, I think, as somebody tries to break this field with about 10 or 11k to go. Hirpa and Dida watching each other. Now, is Hirpa there gesturing with her hand? I wonder if Dida was getting too close and clipped her a couple of times. That must always be very frustrating and dangerous.
I think she was just gesturing and saying, if you're going to...
They haven't got a big enough gap for it to be a really, really unachievable, unattainable goal. So he's working very, very hard to close down on Gemachu. It'll be a fascinating last few minutes for the men, with about 9 minutes of running to come.
So here we are back with the women's race, and I'm guessing this is the lead woman in Dera Dida, so settled in, still behind the pacemaker. Pacemaker did help Hirpa to get back to her a couple of kilometres ago, but it looks as though now she might have broken Bedatu. Hirpa can't see her certainly in that shot. If we swing around a little bit, we might get an indication of that gap to second, and whether Tigist Girma in third is able to make any inroads on that gap to second, and indeed up to first. There we go. So it's not too substantial at this point in the race. That is the view that, well, this is almost the view that Tigist Girma might have, trying to work her way back to Hirpa, and then Hirpa, that tantalising distance between her and Dera Dida, the winner, and huge difference in that, and not too many metres in there, is
I was going to say, it's almost identical to the men's race, isn't it? About 20 metres between the leader and the chasing athlete. Hirpa here has got a goal. Dida, with all that race experience being applied now, she's been in this position many times before.
So there is 40k drink station, and that will be a welcome sight for these men, and taking advantage of it is Segu there, taking his bottle, getting a last little sugar shot to try and summon up a little bit more energy and try and put some inroads into that gap ahead to Gemachu up the road.
Hirpa chasing hard, and it looks so similar, doesn't it? Count the gap as they pass a cone, say it's what, about 4 seconds, the gap between these two, but that is a gulf in marathon terms. And Hirpa here, remember the difference between first and second, $80,000 and $40,000. Those 25 metres represent $40,000 at the moment in prize money differential. Dera Dida, the most experienced, and using that experience here. 28 years old, third here last year. A winner here as well in years gone by, back in 2023, a couple of years ago, on a different course. She won in 2:21.11. Same day her brother-in-law won the men's race. Now, is that gap growing a little bit, Paula?
I think it's holding, but it is, I think it's slightly closer than in the men's race. Yeah, I would like to see the gap back to third as well, and to see where is this ticket. No, that's, so we're back to the men's race now. So there, that gap is slightly bigger, isn't it? I think.
Well, there's the times at 40k, 1:58.10 at 40k.
And it's 14 seconds back to Segu, and then another 16 seconds to Tamru behind him. So there is your first, second and third as it stands at the moment in the men's race, and that fragmenting really happened just after the 35-kilometre mark, when Gemachu made a little bit of a surge and actually managed to break away at that point, and then he's worked really, really hard to hold it to this point, and he will now be really waiting for that left-hand turn swing in towards the finishing straight.
Well, that 1:58.10 split at 40k represents about 2:04.30 tempo, so the pace has picked up. His 39th kilometre was at 2:49. He's absolutely flying in this men's race. That's why the time has come rocketing down over the last half hour or so. It will be, I think, pretty spectacular negative splits in this men's race today, in this 24th edition of the Dubai Marathon. Yes, 2:35 according to, that can't be right, they're saying the 40th kilometre is 2:35. It's not that quick, there's no way. But anyway, we do know he's accelerated.
Yeah, and he's really trying to hold on and consolidate and extend that lead that he built up, and checking his watch as he's going along just to see if some gauge of the time. But really now it is about just making sure that you just count down in your head and just get through this last, what, kilometre or so. Not even that, is it? It must be, yeah, he's approaching 41 kilometres now.
He's managed these last few kilometres well, hasn't he?
He has.
I mean, from now on, with less than 2k to go, it's about race management. Just hang in there and keep it going. This will be the biggest win of his career by well, many tens of thousands of dollars if he does take first place, and it will give him status on the world marathon scene. It'll make him a desirable commodity. Race directors will be wanting him, And I suspect, Paula, now with the shoes and protecting legs so much, he's got a chance of going for one of the big April marathons.
Certainly he's got a chance of being able to come back, and another indicator of somebody trying to run alongside him at pace, and he looks across as if to say...
Head, you'd think he's got a bunch of marathons behind him, the way he's handled this run over the last 10 kilometres.
He has really raced well. You could see he put a bit of a surge in, managed to break away, then thought, right, okay, I've done that now, I have to consolidate this, and you can see he's hurting, but he also knows that he's running a very quick time, and he must be extremely happy with his debut over this distance, and now he's able to stretch out a little bit, and that gap behind is growing and growing, so he shouldn't come under any attack now in these closing meters. There is second place just coming around the bend behind him, Segu. Head down, just working everything that he's got left into these final stages.
So into the last 200 or 300 meters now. This young man in his marathon debut looking quite magnificent. Superb running from Gemachu here as he heads towards the line. He's destroyed this field over the last 5 or 6 kilometers since the pack broke apart. Checks his watch there. 2 hours 4 minutes on the clock now. Won't be a new course record, but it will be super fast, and significantly it will be the fastest time in the world this year. It was 2:06:06 by Dawit Waldo in Jamen last Sunday. Today here in this 24th edition of the Dubai Marathon, the world's fastest time in these early days of 2024 will indeed be set in this glorious city. Gemachu drives towards the line, looking strong, looking superb. Is that a smile or is it a grimace? It matters not, because he has destroyed a very strong field here of athletes who know this course well. Well, he'll know it well after this. Gemachu, head down, pumping hard with the arms, all the way to the line. Look at the clock, he's going to be inside 2:05. What a run from the debutant to win here.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
Debut runs of recent years. In second place, coming through strongly, is Segu. He too has also had a fabulous run. He's worked hard to maintain that second place. It's his debut as well. The reputation of Dubai for being the race that projects great runners into fabulous marathon careers is strengthened all the more here.
And that is Tamru coming through in third, and he's not too far in the end off his personal best, and certainly the quickest time that he's run for a good
Track personal best. 2:08:30 his win from last September in Taiwan, and today he gets fourth place. 2:06:51 unofficially. Brilliant stuff from him. Just off the rostrum, Ailu takes fifth.
just getting ahead of Mashresha, who has been ahead of him for much of the race. Hailu managed to reel him in across the line. More debutants coming in there with really strong performances. That was Dera Dida just coming into the straight. One of the men pushing the pace early on, but certainly coming out and starting off 2025 on great form and setting his stall out for the year ahead. And here is the leader in the women's race, Dera Dida, all on her own now. The pacemaker has stepped aside, so she has the pace truck up ahead with the clock on it for focusing her eyes on. And second place, Hirpa, just behind her. They have gone through 40 kilometers, and that is a 10-second gap between those two women. And then let's see how far back to Tigist Girma, who was in third place in this race last time we checked in on them.
Do you think that is an unassailable gap, Paula, with two kilometers to go, so about just over 6 minutes of running's come?
No, because
10 seconds.
It's very hard to tell. It's much easier for the women out there because they know what they've got left in their legs and what they feel like and how strong they are. I think it all depends. It's not unassailable if Dera Dida has gone too soon and starts to struggle in this race. But if she's going to maintain that, then it is a tantalizing distance. Not quite as big as we saw in the men's, where it was about 14-15 seconds. We'll see how much she closes in.
Well, we had a winner, a debutant in the men's race. Here he is, Gemachu, the champion.
Gemachu, many congratulations, Dubai Marathon 2025 champion. It's your first ever marathon. What does this win mean to you?
በመጀመሪያ ማራቶን ምን ተሰማህ? እንኳን ለዚህ ድል አበቃ።
አሜን በጣም ደስታ ይሰማኛል።
happy for this situation.
Talk to us about your tactics. How did you win this race today?
እንዴት አድርገህ በምን አይነት ሁኔታ በምን አይነት ታክቲክ ልታሸንፍ ቻልክ?
መጀመሪያ እኔ ማሸነፍ ሳይሆን ጥሩ ሰዓት አስመዝግባለሁ ብዬ ነው አሰብኩ። ግን ሄዶ ወደ 37 36 አካባቢ ሲደርስ በቃ ሄዶ እንደሚያሸንፍ አወኩ እንደ ሁኔታ ሲያይ
I'm running for a good time, but unfortunately, after 36 kilometers, the situation was changing, and I'm getting a winner.
And finally, it is World Championship year in September in Japan. How does this set you up? There's a lot of racing to go, but it's a good start for you, I guess.
በሚቀጥለው ወርልድ ቻምፒዮን ላይ ጃፓን ላይ በምን አይነት ሁኔታ ልትሳተፍ ትችላለህ?
ጥሩ ሰርቼ ጥሩ ሁኔታ ማዝመዝገብ ይችላል ማለት ነው።
ከዚህ የበለጠ ሰርቼ በጥሩ ሁኔታ I will be fine. I will make more training and I will be fine for the next running in Japan.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Well, that's fascinating. He's almost anticipating being selected for the Ethiopian team for the World Championships in Tokyo come September. There is confirmation of the first 10 in this 24th edition of the Dubai Marathon. Butegemechu, 2:04.50, a comfortable win, 24 seconds. The gap back to Berahanu Segu, his compatriot, 2:05.14 in second. And then Chifera Tamru, 2:05.28, another 14 seconds back in third. Great racing here in Dubai, where in particular in both men's and women's races today, the reputation for the race to discover new marathon talent has been underlined, has been strengthened. Tigist Girma, well, 2:06.51, his time in fourth place. That's his consolation, is a pretty quick time, it has to be said. Indeed, a personal best by a couple of minutes and more for Tigist Girma in fourth. And plenty of workers here from Ethiopia, of course, Paula, out celebrating their great races. It is, I think, without any shadow of doubt, the national sport of Ethiopia, where cycling is a big sport, but running is it.
It is, and they send a lot of people here, a lot of people come out to cheer and support it. It's become known as the place to lay down your form for the year ahead and your hopes, and come out and show how hard you've trained. And in the women's race, Dera Dida still leading out there from the splits coming in on my screen. She is slowing, but so is Hirpa behind her, so that gap is maintaining about the same, and in fact it is, 2 minutes or so back to third, so no danger for Hirpa from behind. It is just a question of, can she make any impact, can she make any dent in that 10 seconds up the road ahead of her to Dera Dida, or is Dera Dida on her way to retaining that title from a couple of years ago here in Dubai?
Well, she looks strong, doesn't she? Still good stride length, slight forward lean there for Hirpa. She's chasing hard, but the gap is 10 seconds to Dera Dida up the road ahead of her. There's the kilometre splits, and look at that 40th kilometre, 3:17. That's where the break really did open up the gap a little bit more. 3:18, the 37th kilometre. Quite a variation in those kilometre splits. But Dera Dida looking very, very strong indeed, and I don't think much chance of her being caught here. 2:16 on the clock. Negotiating this last turn. Dida has made it. Hirpa leans into Sakim Street and that last few hundred metres to the finish line.
So they are building into that now, and Dera Dida can see that clock ahead of her on that car. Her personal best, remember, stands at 2:19.24, so looking down the road ahead of her. Now Hirpa in that shot looks as though she's extremely close. Can she close any at all? What has she got left in this final straight, Sakim Street? They can see the finish line ahead of them. Head back, Dera Dida is certainly fatigued at this point.
Well, they have put on a quite magnificent race, this pair, over the last half hour or so since the pack broke up. But there's no doubting that we have a fabulous run on the way from an established champion, Dera Dida, winner here back in 2023, regains top spot. Hirpa is coming back at her though. Look at this, is she going to run out of road? Hirpa sprinting for all she's worth here. Bedatu Hirpa
best of 2:21.09. She's guaranteed a personal best. Is she going to get the win as the legs go from under Dida? Dida, the head is back. I wonder if she's getting any warning, any information. Hirpa knows that the line is coming, but she knows she can catch her great compatriot and great rival. And within sight of the finish line, within a few dozen yards of the finish line, Bedatu Hirpa gains the lead and takes the win surely now. 2:18 on the clock. Drama here in the closing stages in Dubai 2025. Wow! Dera Dida, there's nothing the 28-year-old can do about it. She won here in 23. She was third here last year, but this year we have a new champion. Bedatu Hirpa, the 25-year-old, takes the title in Dubai, punches the air, newfound energy.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
Best there by about 3 minutes for Bedatu Hirpa to take the win. One layer of drama upon another. Paula, we haven't seen a finish like that. A closing surge to take the lead for many a year in a major city marathon.
Well, you asked me about a kilometre out. Did I think that she could reel her in? And I did say it depended what was left in the legs of both runners. And I think the change there was as they swung into that straight, you saw the impact of just misjudging the marathon distance. And that's what it does to you. If you contrast Dera Dida's form with the final 100 metres and a kilometre or so ago, the head went back. Everything was tying up. She was trying to move to that finish line, but there was just nothing left in her legs, and Bedatu Hirpa sensed that and was able to find something more, finish far more strongly, and both of them rewarded with personal bests, but in very, very contrasting styles. And here is third position now in Tigist Girma.
Well, Bedatu Hirpa taking the win there, third time lucky for her. She was third here in 2020, she was seventh here 2023, and she wins today. And that World Youth 1500 metre title from 10 years ago, maybe the old leg speed, the muscle memory counted for a lot here today as she sprinted through the last couple of hundred to take the win. Tigist Girma, well, she's never done a half marathon. This is her 17th marathon. 2:18.52 her best from Valencia a couple of years back. She's just outside that, but she makes third place, and another really strong run for her. But Paula, quick times here in Dubai this morning with the leading two athletes running 2:18, and Tigist Girma here taking third place. The winner of Sydney a couple of years back, 7th in Valencia as well, where she set her personal best a couple of years back. Her first time here, and she takes third place, makes it onto the rostrum. Tigist Girma in her first ever Dubai marathon. Hirpa looks like she could go round again.
The 2025 Dubai Marathon was transformed into a breathtaking display of Ethiopian supremacy as the nation's athletes executed a historic, all-encompassing takeover of the prestigious event. In a stunning demonstration of depth and tactical brilliance, Ethiopian runners not only won both the men's and women's races, but swept every single podium position and filled the entirety of the top 10 finishes. The day belonged to the debutante and the comeback queen. Bedatu Girma announced his arrival on the global marathon stage with a fearless victory in the men's race, clocking 2 hours 4 minutes and 51 seconds, while Bedatu Hirpa authored a dramatic, last kilometer surge to claim the women's crown in a personal best of 2:18:27. At the men's contest saw a masterful performance from 23-year-old Bedatu Girma, who continued a remarkable streak for Ethiopia in Dubai, making his first ever attempt at the 42.195 kilometer distance. Girma showcased poise beyond his years. He bided his time within a lead pack before making a decisive, solo break at the 35-kilometer mark, despite a late charge from compatriot Hirpa, who closed to within 20 meters in the final 2 kilometers. Girma's bold move held firm. He powered down the final straight to secure victory, ensuring an Ethiopian debutante has won the Dubai men's race for an incredible 5th consecutive year. Berhanu Tsegu finished strong for second place in 2 hours 5 minutes and 14 seconds, with Hirpa rounding out the all-Ethiopian podium in 2 hours 5 minutes and 28 seconds. The scale of dominance was absolute, with Ethiopian athletes claiming each of the top 14 finishing positions. The women's race delivered even greater suspense, culminating in a cinematic finish. For much of the course, it appeared 2023 champion Dera Dida, wife of Olympic champion Tamirat Tola, was destined to reclaim her title. She and training partner Bedatu Hirpa broke away from the field after 25 kilometers, with Dida pushing ahead to build a 10-second lead with just 1 kilometer remaining. However, in a stunning twist, Dida was struck by severe stomach cramps on the long finishing straight. Seeing her rival falter, Hirpa summoned a phenomenal final sprint. She erased the deficit and swept past Dida in the closing meters to snatch victory by a mere 5 seconds. "I didn't expect to win today, but I stayed focused," Hirpa said post-race. "When I saw Dida slowing, I knew I had a chance." Her winning time of 2 hours 18 minutes and 27 seconds shattered her previous personal best set just 3 months prior. Dida secured second in 2 hours 18 minutes and 32 seconds, also a lifetime best, while Tigist Girma completed the podium sweep in 2:20:47. The 2025 edition further cemented the Dubai Marathon status as a bastion of Ethiopian distance running success. The nation increased its record tally of Dubai Marathon victories to an astounding 33 total wins, 16 men's, 17 women's. The results are a resounding testament to the country's unmatched systematic depth. Ethiopian runners filled every position in the women's top 16 and the men's top 14, a feat of collective strength that underscores a thriving training culture and development pipeline. For the victorious duo, the wins are transformative. Bedatu Girma's seamless transition to the marathon marks him as an immediate global contender. "It's a dream come true to win my first marathon," he stated. Bedatu Hirpa's gritty, come-from-behind victory propels her into the elite tier of women's marathon running, proving her capability to win under maximum pressure. The 2025 Dubai Marathon was more than a race. It was a definitive statement. On the fast, flat roads of the Emirates, Ethiopia presented not just 2 individual champions, but an entire generation of world-class talent, leaving no doubt about its continued reign over the world of marathon running.
Celebrating in how fast that she finished, reeling that in the closing stages, in the contrast to the experience of Dera Dida, who doesn't often get it that wrong.
And here is the winner.
Bedatu, congratulations. What a fantastic win. What were you feeling coming in towards the finish line where you could see Dera Dida just in front of you?
እንኳን ደስ ያለሽ በጣም እንኳን ደስ ያለሽ አንደኛ በመውጣትሽ ምን እየተሰማሽ ነው ያለው ይሄን አሸንፈሽ አንደኛ በመውጣትሽ ምን እየተሰማሽ ነው ያለው
በመጀመሪያ ደረጃ በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል ማለት ስራ ሰርተናል እንደማሸንፍ አውቅ ነበር ከመጀመሪያው
She said that she's been working very hard to win it and she was very much confident that she would be winning it today.
In commentary today, they were saying you were the dark horse, and for a moment there you were about 10 seconds off the pace. Did you always feel that you could win this race?
እንግዲህ እሷ ምትልሽ ይሄንን እንደምታሸንፊ እርግጠኛ ሆነሽ ነበር ወይ 10 ሰከንድ ነው የቀረሽ የነበረው ለማሸነፍና እንዴት ነው ይሄን ምን ተሰማሽ ለዚህ ጥረት አድርገሽ ነበር ወይ ነው ምትልሽ
ያው በጣም ስለሰራን ጥረት አድርጌ ነበር ማለት ከ35 በኋላ መሄድ ስለምችል እርግጠኛ ነበርኩ ሙሉ ኮንፊደንስ ነበር
She said that she was having a full confidence after the 35 kilometer and she was trying to really to reach to the finish line and she was so much confident about it that she would be really reaching to the first line. Yeah.
It was a very strong field today and for a long time in the race there were 6 of you all together. Did it help to have a big group to run with and a very good pacemaker?
አብራችሁ በግሩፕ ሆናችሁ 6 ሆናችሁ በመሮጣችሁና በግሩፕ ስለሰራችሁ ይሄንን ውጤት ለማምጣት ረድቶሻል ወይ ነው የምትልሽ?
አዎ.
Yes. Being in a group and she was so confident that being a group that's really helped them to finish the line. Yes.
And when you crossed the line in a very fast time of 2:18, you still looked full of running. Do you think there's more to come?
ሁለት ከ18 ካሸነፍሽም በኋላ አቀሙ ነበርሽ ኢነርጂም ነበርሽ ከዛ በላይ መሮጥ እንደምትች ይሰማሽ ነበር ወይ ነው
ማለት አላየሁትም ነበር ስንት እንደምደረጥኩት
Yes, she was saying that, you know, she did not even watch it. She hasn't even watched the time. She was having that energy still while she was really reaching to the finish line.